Welcome back to the Subspace Games YouTube channel. This video we're going to be discussing the Data Explorer module in Shiva3D. So let's get to it. So the Data Explorer is what you can see down here. I'm going to go ahead and maximize this view. Now within the module, if you have two buttons. You have Detach, which will actually create a separate window in case you're working with multiple monitors. You could move this over to another monitor. And then there's also the maximize view. So let's just go ahead and maximize this so we can see what we're dealing with. Alright, so the first thing you'll notice in the Data Explorer view is that we have a root folder called test. And this is just something that I set up as a project. If we go into main, go into projects, you can see that this is the one with the green light is the one that's being used and it's test. So that's why we've got that there. Now there's some subfolders. Games, models, plugins, resources, which breaks down into a whole slew of stuff, and then scenes at the bottom. These are the things you're actually going to be using as you construct a game. A lot of them are self-explanatory. Models, plugins I haven't used yet, so I'm not exactly sure what kind of things go in there. I would imagine there's some additional functionality. AI models, some of these things as we get more into Shiva will make a lot more sense. Anim clips, like animations and fonts and all kinds of stuff. But the nice thing about the Data Explorer is that we have this menu up at the top, and there's a lot of options that we can use within here. We can go to the details view where it gives us a little bit more information rather than just a thumbnail. There's different ways to sort. We can refresh. There's some folder options. It shows you, how many different, let's say like for fonts, we've got one font loaded right at the moment in the Data Explorer. We've got a couple of scripts, a couple of textures, whatnot. And create. So this gives us the ability to create some of these things. Most of the stuff that we have within the Data Explorer, we have the ability to create from here. Other things you're actually going to be importing. Let's say you create a model from Blender, then you go and import model. You want to, select the file, and there's some other options that we can set. As I go through my game, we'll actually be doing some importing, so I'll go over this in more detail. And then there's also the ability to export. There's some tools, import from library, add to library. We'll also go over those things in more detail. But the thing you just need to know about the Data Explorer is that really when you're working with a game and creating assets and moving them into a scene, this is where it's all going to be controlled from. This is where you're going to be looking at your assets and creating assets. And so it's a pretty important place. But as far as functionality to really look at the moment, there's not a whole lot. But you'll see as we go through some more videos that we'll be using this quite a bit. So anyways, that was the view of the Data Explorer module. We'll have some follow-up videos about the other modules, and then we'll get into actually creating a game. So we hope to see you soon.